You're listening to the Stallion Radio Network.
Welcome to Movie Talk. I like to live dangerously.
Did you hear this?
Yes.
In the face.
And here are your hosts, Brian Seals, Brett Seals, and Vic Vasquez.
And hello everybody, welcome to Movie Talk Radio. I am one of your three hosts, Brett Seals. You can follow me on Twitter at The Podcast King.
I'm Brian Sills, and you can follow me on Twitter at Movie Talk Brian.
And I'm Vic Vasquez, and you can follow me at TheTorvic23, also on Twitter.
And together we are the
Twitter
Three
hands.
Amigos.
And you can also follow Movie Talk Radio on Twitter at Movie Talk Radio. But it's Wednesday, December 11th. Happy Hump Day, guys.
Hump Day!
Should have seen what Brian was doing
I do the Humpty Hump.
when I said it was Hump Day off air. It's getting a little
I was
crazy.
doing the Humpty Humps.
We got a good show for you today.
When do we not?
Yeah, we always have a good show. We've got an especially good show. A lot of interesting stuff. We got a lot of Star Wars. Got multiple Star Trek news, which is something we haven't had since Into Darkness came out. We've got 22 Jump Street. We actually got 47 Ronin. We're going to talk about Daredevil, the Netflix series. Some Batman vs Superman news.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing
Pretty
Spider-Man.
much everything you need to know is on this show today.
And of course our favorite segments.
Yes, of course. We got Vic's pick today, as always.
Yeah.
Unscripted movie scenes.
Yeah.
Weekly film facts.
Mm-hmm.
And name that movie.
And of course, we always start off with On This Day in Film History. December 11th, as I said, was the date today. And on this day, in 1980, the TV series Magnum Pi debuted. Commitments to the show eventually kept star Tom Selleck from accepting the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Selleck had to settle for starring in the films Mr. Baseball, Lassiter, and Quigley Down Under. So that show kind of kept him from greatness in his career. He could have played Indiana Jones, which would have really, I think launched him to... I mean, he's still a notable star, but I mean, he would have been a lot bigger than he is.
I'm sure he fired his agent after that.
I like how you called it Magnum Pie.
Magnum Pie.
P.I.
I call him Magnum Pie. That's what
Sounds like a home-cooked meal, like Magnum Pie.
Magnum Pie.
Mom's
That's
Magnum
what
Pie.
I think that's what he says in The Hangover. Alan, he says Magnum Pie. That's where I started saying it.
Well, if Alan said it, you know it's got to be true.
Yeah. 18 years later, 1998, the horror movie Ringu debuts in Japan. The film was the first of a phenomenally successful trilogy in that country. The American remake, The Ring, was released in 2002. It also enjoyed a successful run. I did not know that The Ring was a adaptation from a foreign film. I never knew that.
What was it called?
The Ringu. It's The Ring
Ringu?
with a U on the end. I'm sure it's the Japanese way to say The Ring. I could be totally saying it wrong as well. So it kind of reminds me of, Old Boy, which came out, how they made an American version of a
I was actually
film.
rewatching that the other night. It's pretty good, the foreign one is, but apparently not the American one, so...
Poor Spike Lee.
Yeah.
But
Probably
you
that's
see
when
that a
White
lot.
Josh Brolin was drinking himself.
You see a lot of American films being made from Japanese films. Inception was another film that was actually... Yeah, I didn't know that, but it got the idea from a Japanese film. So... happens a lot apparently, but
Well, they have good things. I mean, Shameless TV show was...
British.
Yeah.
We steal everybody's stuff.
We're America. We have to.
Yes,
We have to
do.
be number one or nothing.
But that is what happened on this day in film history.
Well, we're going to talk about some DVD releases that came out yesterday, believe it or not, because it is Wednesday now. Two of them to talk about. One of them Vic actually got.
Fast and the Furious 6.
Yes.
I was going to get it anyways, but considering what happened, I decided to get it on day one.
And
But-
a lot of people should really get this because I
actually
believe
really
if,
good.
if you buy it, it goes towards Paul Walker's foundation.
Yeah.
Some of the proceeds go towards, his what's it called, outreach foundation?
Yeah, I think that's what
something
it's
like
called.
that, or reach
Yeah.
out, something like that. But portions of it go towards that foundation. So
I'm sure this DVD was going to do well regardless, but especially now.
But, yeah, it's definitely going to have
that's
a
why
lot
I got
more.
it day one, just because I just needed it. So
Gotta have it.
mm-hmm.
Still have to check it out. Also, that came out on DVD is Despicable Me 2. And I believe you saw this, right?
I saw the first one. I never got to see this one.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen either one of them, so.
Yeah.
I saw the second one. I didn't really see the hype about it. It wasn't that good. I mean, compared to all the other ones, like all the other animated movies, this wasn't quite up there for me anyways, so.
I think that those movies really just depressed me because when I saw the first one, it was the first time in my life that I'd ever seen a movie by myself, where I was sitting in the movie theater by myself.
So you were thinking, geez, I'm just...
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a loser. This is pathetic.
I actually...
I do that every
so I
Tuesday.
ruined the movie, so I can't
See,
watch
he
the
does
sequel.
it every Tuesday. Like, Vic's the only one that gets me, like, because I like going to the movies by myself, too, because, like...
Like, the less people in the theater, the better.
The better,
for
yeah.
me.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you can enjoy the movie, but you get peace and quiet, like... I don't know. There's I like it. I enjoy being by myself
It's like my
sometimes.
temple is the movie theater.
Exactly.
So.
See, he understands.
I was like 15 when this happened, so I had never done it before. I'd always gone with our parents, so it was just a little different for me. So I was just...
Well, you need to do it again. See how you feel now.
I'm sure I would love it now. I would probably do it all the time, but at the time that it happened, I was just like, this is not right. I'm used to seeing it with other people, so I probably will never see the sequel because of that.
Well, yeah. But those are the DVDs that came out on Tuesday. And now it's time for the box office results.
Would you like to take a bow?
I would, but I'd probably hit my head on the desk.
Go ahead, Brian. Take a bow.
I
Brian
got it right.
he is off the schneid, you guys.
Off the schneid.
He's off the schneid. That's a saying.
In case you guys were wondering why it's so cold across the nation, is because Ichi Double Hockey Sticks actually froze over.
Yes,
Now
it
that
did.
Brian got one right.
I think it was ironic that Frozen got #1 over 2 films that had heat-related titles, Catching Fire and Out of the Furnace. Isn't that kind of ironic?
A little bit.
I was like, all right.
Hell has frozen over.
It sure has. That was some bold prediction.
Yes. You guys looked at me like I was nuts, but it paid
We did.
off. It paid off.
I think you talked to somebody. I think you know
Yeah,
something.
fine. I talked to the guy who knew a guy. I paid him like, look, you gotta help me out here.
I think that might have been a serious possibility.
No, I don't have that kind of cash. I'd have to literally do what Breaking Bad and start selling meth.
Hey, you could be living a double life. We don't know.
Oh, that's true. Well, anyways, at number 10 was the Dallas Buyers Club, which made 1.5. Number 9 was Philomean. I probably said that wrong, but
He
whatever.
tried and failed again.
Can you do it?
2 weeks in a row.
I can't read from that far. I don't have my glasses on.
Philomania.
Philomnia.
Philomia.
That's my best chance.
Yeah, see, I don't think you got it right either.
Philomnia.
Well, anyways, that movie made 2.1. At number 8 was The Best Man Holiday, which made 2.6. At number 7 was The Book Thief, which made 2.6 as well. Just a little bit more. At number 6 was Homefront, which made 3.4. At number 5 was Delivery Man, which made 3.7. At number 4 was Thor The Dark World, which made 4.8. At number 3 was Out of the Furnace, which made 5.2. At number 2 was The Hunger Games Catching Fire, which made 26.1. And at number 1 was Frozen, which made $31.6 million.
Well, Brian called himself the king on Twitter when he found out that he got it right. He said the king is back. If you get 3 in a row, I think you should be claimed king.
Okay.
I was close.
Okay.
I had 2 weeks in a row. I haven't gotten 3 in a long, long time.
I have a feeling I'll get this week right.
I don't know. It's there might be a little bit of fluctuation like there was last week with Frozen jumping up. I don't know. With The Hobbit coming out and then a Christmas movie, all bets are off.
I don't know. I have a good feeling.
Did you guys see any films this past week?
Not in theaters, actually. I saw bits and pieces of movies throughout the last few days, just on TV, catching, the end of this, the end of that kind of thing. So, and Mob City would probably be
Yeah, so
something that I saw. And, of course, last night,
worth
the
mentioning.
Yeah,
season
that's-
finale of Sons of Anarchy was last night, which I saw as well. So,
Brian, you saw Mob City? didn't
Yes,
you?
I watched 2 hours of Mob City, and whew, I liked it.
Yeah, I never got around to watching it. I meant to, but I kind of just, forgot about it.
it happens.
It happens, yeah. I'll be able to catch up. It's on tonight as well.
Yes.
So that's what you guys saw?
Yep.
I saw a film that was recently added to Netflix, which is a film I was wanting to see when I heard about it. It was called The Iceman, which was written and directed by Ariel Vronin. It stars Michael Shannon, who's on Boardwalk Empire. He played General Zod in Man of Steel, the villain. Also stars Chris Evans, Captain America, Ray Liotta, and a small appearance from James Franco It's about the true story of Richard Kuklinski, the notorious contract killer and family man. When finally arrested in 1986, neither his wife nor daughters have any clue about his real profession. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I mean, I don't know why. I like watching movies about serial killers, if that's creepy. I mean, I really enjoyed The Zodiac, which
which was a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And that movie took place around here, but this movie had never really been done before. And I thought Michael Shannon plays a pretty good villain. I mean, he's living a double life. Kind of reminded me of Breaking Bad in a sense. You know, his family has no idea what he's up to, but very interesting film. Obviously a true story. It's on Netflix. The Iceman, pretty good. Check it out. But that's all I watched this week.
Somebody told me about that movie the other day. One of my friends, we were talking about it, and he said, "No, you should check out The Iceman." So kind of ironic that you brought that up.
Yeah, it was really, really well done. I thought Michael Shannon. Even before this, just on like.
Well, yeah, even
on
before you
Boardwalk
watched
Empire,
I heard about that movie.
Even on Boardwalk Empire, I mean, he does a pretty good job.
He's a good actor.
He really is, and it led to things like Man of Steel, and now this. But yeah, it's on Netflix, so check it out.
And what was that about the browser thing? How you updated it, now you can't check out other countries' Netflix?
On Netflix, I mentioned maybe a month or two ago, if you watch Netflix on your computer, I told you a trick how to be able to watch Netflix from different countries if you're viewing it from a different country. And what it was is if you had Google Chrome, you could download this extension called Ola Unblocker, which allowed you to view Great Britain's Netflix, any country that has Netflix available. But I tried, because my computer crashed, so I tried downloading everything again, and I downloaded the software that makes it run, which is called Microsoft Silverlight. And I downloaded it and then uploaded it, and I found out that it wouldn't run on Google Chrome, so I couldn't watch other countries' Netflix anymore. So if you still have the old version, the old Microsoft Silverlight, you should keep it and not download it, because you will not be able to watch Netflix from different countries.
So we apologize. Our show may have had a reason for that.
Yeah.
Damn you, Brett. Damn you.
I think Netflix is aware of that sort of thing. I don't think they just had to find a way around it, and
They did.
they did, yeah. So I'm very upset about that I even downloaded Microsoft Silverlight. If I would have known that before I decided to download it, I wouldn't have, because now I can never watch some of my favorite movies on Netflix from, like, UK.
I feel like we need to play that Elton John Candle in the Wind for you.
Yes, please. It was... man, just ruined my day when I found out about that. But yeah.
I think it's time for some news.
It is time for some news. All right. Last week, Vic talked about Bill and Ted and the astronomical amount of money that they're wanting to make it, which was like $400 million.
For the production budget, yeah.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But we also briefly in passing mentioned his new film that's coming out later this month, 47 Ronin. See, it's not even that important to even know the title. But apparently, it's already premiered in overseas. It overseas in Japan, to be exact. It hasn't opened at other places so far. But Deadline reported that Universal, who distributed the film, is going to have a hard time making back the money that they spent on this, because it made a less than impressive $1.3 million at its premiere in Japan. Not very good. It's going to take a lot to earn what they spent, because their budget was $175 million for this movie. And it opened up on 333 screens. It earned a per screen average of 3,900, which isn't terrible. And I think the audiences in Japan are a little bit different than the audiences in America, where I don't think Japanese people have to, we need to go see the midnight premiere. We need to see this movie on the first day. I feel like it's America's cinema. I feel like we're a little more crazy about that sort of thing. There's an awful lot of people living in Japan. And after all, it's a Japanese film, which I thought was ironic. It's a Japanese film, and Japanese people don't want to see it.
Because it's got Keanu Reeves.
So, it's still yet to open in other places overseas, and yet to open here in the United States, but it's gonna take it's going to need to take everything it can get as far as trying to make back what it's spent.
I feel bad for Keanu Reeves, honestly. Like, me personally, I feel like ever since he did The Matrix, like, his career just, like, really went downhill. I mean, like, before even The Matrix, like, he was in, like, a whole bunch of movies. And then, like, ever since Matrix and how bad it was, like, he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. Now he's trying to make a comeback. And it's just not working out for him.
And I think if this film were to do well, I don't think he would get $400 million in budget for Bill and Ted, but I think he would get a decent amount to make the movie. But now that this movie, so far from what we've heard, isn't that great, I think it's going to maybe put a damper a little bit on Bill and Ted. Not from being made, but maybe a lower budget, because they don't want this to happen where they spend all this money making it and they don't make back what they spent. So I don't know. Thought it was worth mentioning. Sorry, Keanu Reeves.
Very sad stuff. I'm sorry, man. Well, not long ago we talked about Family Guy and how they killed off Brian the dog. Well, apparently there's already talks about bringing him back.
Didn't we see this coming, all of us? We all said they're going to find some way to try and do it.
Well, the speculation is actually being talked about after an upcoming Christmas-themed episode where baby Stewie plots to have the one thing he wants more than anything else in the world, and that is his beloved dog, Brian. But there's not confirmed reports of whether or not it's just if he's going to be back full-time, or if it's just for, like, a Christmas episode, or, like, a couple of scenes where, like, they see him in dog heaven. Like, they don't know yet, but there's talks about bringing him back.
If they were smart, I think they would bring him back full time. I don't think this story wouldn't be surfaced right now if it weren't for all the outrage that people are having because of the fact that he got killed off the show. I mean, I'm sure Seth MacFarlane heard a lot of people's complaints about it, and he realized that he made a mistake, and I think they did as well.
Yeah, well, producer Steve Callaghan said that the decision to kill Brian would be a fun way to shake things up. Well, shake things up, the show did, and now it seems that a move is actually being made to bring things back to the way they were, but I don't know, I guess after the Christmas episode, we'll find out whether or not if that's true or not.
Like, when this first happened, I initially said, I don't ever want to watch Family Guy again. But I gave it a shot this past Sunday just to maybe not hate on it as much, if you will. It wasn't as good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, so until they bring Brian back, I'm not going to...
When you ruin the chemistry, it just... It changes the whole dynamic of the show.
So how was Vinny, anyways?
He's not even that funny. He tries to be funny, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it. I mean, this is a serious change here, and if they don't make the right decision, it could put the entire show in jeopardy.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, this would be like any show. I mean, throw South Park into the mix. It'd be like them getting rid of Cartman.
Yeah.
Which, like, to me, he's one of the funniest on the show. And it's like, if you get rid of that, then, like, the show is just stale. And that's what Brian is on Family Guy.
And it didn't make sense to me because Seth MacFarlane voices him, and he's also, the creator of the show. So, I mean, I don't know why he felt the need to take out such an important and lovable character like Brian when he voices the character and he's the creator of the show. I don't know what his logic was behind it, but... He's obviously paying for it now, and I think he's starting to realize that it was a mistake. So, I mean, you mentioned, like, maybe they have two dogs on the show, Vinny and Brian. I think that would actually help a lot more.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, that's what they probably should have done to begin with, instead of killing off Brian, is just add another addition, like another dog. Maybe, like, a love interest, or, like, a pal.
Love interest?
Yeah.
Are they both guys?
Yes.
Maybe Brian's gay. New storyline. I don't know, but
that show was never really consistent either, though, because at the very end of the episode, Peter kills himself. But Peter's gonna be back next week, I'm sure.
Peter killed himself?
Yeah, he went on tour with Quagmire doing like this 2-man band thing, and then at the end he came back and he just like shot himself.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure he'll be back. But Brian can't come back until I don't know, because they never follow any like actual like storyline.
Yeah, where it says previously on Family Guy.
Yeah.
That'd be weird if it did.
Some like dramatic intro music.
Right? Like ER status type music.
I'm sure he'll be back probably full time. I mean, if Seth MacFarlane was smart, he would do that. He would make that move. So I don't know. We'll see.
So moving on from that, we're going to kick off our Marvel news. The show's going to be full of superheroes and whatnot, so let's start with some Marvel. Marvel actually officially confirmed a report from last month that writer-director Drew Goddard,
I think it's Goddard.
who's worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Lost, Cloverfield, World War Z, just to name a few, has joined Marvel's Daredevil. He's going to write and direct the first episode of Daredevil, setting the tone and look for the show, while also serving as series showrunner and executive producer for the 13-episode series premiering on Netflix in 2015.
They don't have anybody playing Daredevil, do they?
That's what I was gonna ask.
As of right now, he's just involved for it right now. Daredevil is one of several shows that would build up to a crossover miniseries called The Defenders. The other planned series include Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. It's going to unfold over multiple years of original programming that Netflix made a deal with Disney to get all those things for original programming. And it's going to take Netflix members deep into the gritty world of heroes and villains in Hell's Kitchen, New York. So Netflix has committed to a minimum of 4 13-episode series and culminating miniseries event that will reimagine all the dream team of self-sacrificing heroic characters. So they're trying to do like maybe some kind of like Avengers type thing, but on Netflix, and only on Netflix.
I wonder how much begging Netflix had to do to get that.
See, that's
A lot of money.
That's the beauty of Netflix is it's been able to acquire rights to where they can make Netflix original shows, and we've seen a lot of it. You know, House of Cards with Kevin Spacey, that's just gotten tons of accolades. It's been nominated several times. Hostel, I think is that what it's called? With Eli Roth directed it. So I mean, that's one of the advantages of Netflix is that they can come in and have their own original shows. I mean, I've even heard them talking about maybe the possibility of having original movies at some point. So, I mean...
I think they might have done like 1 or 2 by now.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen them. I
Mine
want
either.
older movies. Well, not older movies, but I want movies that I know about from Netflix. I think that's why we all kind of got the service, was to kind of check out movies like that. But, I mean, this sounds like a good start for something new.
I don't know, they have been adding a lot of old movies, like that Dutch movie that I brought. I saw that on there, which I'd never seen before, and then I saw a movie where, like, I grew up watching a long time ago that I'd never seen for, like, so long, and then I saw it on Netflix, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit better at adding films. I wouldn't say quicker, but I would say maybe quicker than what they used to do. Like Flight with Denzel Washington was added on there, and that was nominated for an Academy Award last year. And when you think about last year, that's kind of a ways away. But to the Netflix that we know, it would have taken 2 years or something. So they're doing a little bit better job. And also like the Iceman, that came out not long ago, and it's
I feel like every couple months or so, like I'm seeing new things that I didn't see on before.
Something will pop up randomly and just be like, oh, that's on here now?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're doing a better job. But we are going to talk about one of my least favorite titled sequels here. And we're going to talk about 22 Jump Street, because they recently came out with the official synopsis for it. And first off, I just want to say, please change the title. When that was announced, it was probably the most painful news I have heard about a sequel. I mean, I don't really like talking about sequels in general, but when you have a stupid title like 22 Jump Street, that's just terrible. But the synopsis is, after making their way through high school twice, big changes are in store for Officers Schmidt and Janko when they go deep undercover at a local college. But when Janko meets a kindred spirit on the football team and Schmidt infiltrates the bohemian art major scene, they begin to question their partnership. Now they don't have to just crack the case, they have to figure out if they can have a mature relationship. If these two overgrown adolescents can grow from freshmen into real men, college might be the best thing that ever happened to them. I kind of expected this, their relationships kind of tested a little bit because they're going to college, which I'm not sure if they actually ever did.
Oh yeah,
in the backstory,
it never shows.
Never explained it, but I don't know. I mean, that's interesting because the way the first one ended, it seemed like the relationship, was good, everything's all right, but now it's going to be test it again.
Well, yeah. If you think about it, like it really is going to question like just how genuine that friendship really is. Because I mean, in high school, they weren't really the best of friends. They were kind of like bullies or like enemies and whatnot. But like it's like they became friends once they were in the police academy together. So like, yeah, I mean, this is actually it's going to test it. So I think it's an interesting plot.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's funny too.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, everyone was kind of surprised when this film came out. I mean, when we first heard about the movie, we were like, "Oh my god, a 21 Jump Street movie," and then we were, shockingly surprised by the hilariousness of these two. Yeah, but the release date is June 13th, 2014, so we don't have to wait too much longer.
Well, I'm more curious to see like who else is going to be in it besides the obviously like Channing Tatum and Ice Cube. Yeah, like who else is going to be in this that like
I forgot about Ice Cube.
I forget Brie Larson, is that her name? She's not in it.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just like some
Rob
some
Riggle's
familiar
not in it,
faces.
James Frank. Yeah, I know. But
well, yeah, his
dick
penis,
got cut
yeah,
off. Or not cut off, shot off.
that's a baton penis.
And like Jonah Hill's character has a new love interest, and she's black. So I mean, it's gonna get real crazy. But yeah, 22. Just change the title for me, please.
Yes.
They try to get too creative. I think that's just
I think
laziness.
they were on that drug from the first movie, whatever it was called.
HSF.
Yeah,
HFS.
Hopefully it's still just a working title, but
It's not.
It's official now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not a working title, but it needs to be a working title.
Speaking of titles, we're going to talk about a title reveal for the new Terminator reboot. For the new Sarah Connor upcoming Terminator reboot, Production Weekly has reported that the film may have its title, and the title is Terminator Genesis. Now, it could simply just be a placeholder, or, I mean, that's the name they're going with, but it's not for sure. Things could change. But as of right now, it's Terminator Genesis. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one?
I'm alright with it.
It's a reboot, right? Remake, reboot,
It's a reboot.
sequel.
It's a reboot.
That I'm not okay with, really, a whole lot. I thought they were just going to continue on with after Terminator Salvation.
Oh, yeah. See, I was kind of expecting to see what they were going to do, but casting is still coming together for the film, which is said to also be looking for a new John Connor and Kyle Reese. It's reported that the production is concentrated on casting Sarah before any of the other roles, with Brie Larson and Emilia Clarke said to be the frontrunners of Sarah Connor. The first in a standalone trilogy, Terminator will be produced by Megan Ellison and Anna Purana and David Ellison of Skydance. And the Alan Taylor-directed film is slated to hit theaters July 2nd, 2015.
Maybe that's why Brie Larson isn't coming back for 22 Jump Street. Because she
I'm
might
like, don't
play
even
Sarah
call it
Connor. Yeah. 21
Jump
Part
Street 2.
21 Jump Street 2. That sounds weird. I'm sure they threw all those titles around, but I mean...
Honestly, I don't know why they didn't just go with 21 Jump Street.
And then a subtitle.
Yeah, subtitle,
Yeah.
like college
Yeah.
hazing or something, like college day.
I don't know. They just... Let's change the one.
I mean, me
to
personally,
a two.
that would have been more, like, catching than 22 Jump Street. I mean, I feel like that...
It confuses people.
I feel like they just, like, they were in that, like, boardroom where they have, like, that big business table where, like, where they're trying to come up with an idea and, like, they're just all tired, like, let's just call it 22 Jump Street. Good idea!
Screw it. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there, but yeah.
Terminator Genesis.
That's not a bad title. It's better than 22 Jump Street.
See, when I hear the word Genesis, though, it reminds me of, like, Sega.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of as well.
Sega!
Yeah, but I just don't like the fact that it's a reboot.
They're still waiting for Arnold to sign up, I believe. So I don't think he's officially signed on yet. Could be wrong.
It'd be better for the film if he did.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then who knows?
Just throw another CG Arnold in there, that's fine.
Yeah, that's alright. We can do that now.
But now it's time for Vic's Pick.
So we actually had somebody guess that on Twitter correctly. Every week we do post a sneak peek, I guess, of
yeah.
Vic's pick. And somebody actually got it right.
Yeah, my friend Billy went to high school with him at Well Fed Bear. I believe that's his
That's a
name.
pretty cool...
Well Fed Bear 55.
Well-fed bear. Well played bear. It is 2002's cult comedy classic Super Troopers, which runs about an hour and 40 minutes. Directed by Jay Chandrasekhar. I think I'm going with that. Starring the Broken Lizard crew, which of course is Jay is part of that, along with Kevin Heffernan, Steve Lem, Paul Soder, Eric Stolhansky, and it also stars Brian Cox and Marissa Coughlan. Hilarious movie.
Awesome movie.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's about 5 Vermont state troopers who are avid pranksters with a knack for screwing things up, try to save their jobs, and outdo the local police department by solving a crime.
Hilarious movie.
Hilarious
Awesome
movie.
movie.
It's one of those cool movies where you can just kind of say like a line, and then like the next person can say like a line from it, and everybody knows where it's from.
Greatest opening scene of all time.
I can't pull over anymore. I can't pull over. Lots of quotes, if you will, movie quotes from that one. Production budget was only $3 million for this movie. Ended up making an overall gross of 23.1, with actually 20% of that coming from the foreign market.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not bad. IMDb has it as a 6.9 out of 10. I don't know why they don't just round. I say
don't
this like
either.
every week. Like they should just
7.
7.
It's a solid 7.
Rotten Tomatoes reports that it has an 89% audience approval rating, and Roger Ebert gave it a 2.5 out of 4 stars. So 2.5 stars out of 4.
Yeah.
Not bad, especially coming from him. You know.
I think it's actually one of their better movies.
Oh yeah, and Beer Fest, of course.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It'd be
Beer Fest.
this one, Beer Fest, and then Club Dread.
Club Dread was. I still haven't really seen the restaurant one. I forget what that one's called.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen.
It's like Olivia Munn's in it and Michael Clark Duncan or something. No, somebody weird like
yeah,
that.
I haven't seen their latest ones.
But a couple fun movie facts from this movie. The film was actually originally supposed to be set in the 1970s. They've also talked about doing a prequel around that little time period. So this could have been done in the 70s. Apparently they were going to wear like mustaches and like ridiculous hair.
Wow.
All that fun stuff. The picture that I actually posted was a dude standing in a bulletproof cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that scene was actually shot, yeah, with the thumbs up, of course. It was shot outside an actual prison, and while Steve Lem was standing there wearing just a cup, prisoners were pressed against a fence yelling at him.
I remember Brian mentioned that one time, like as a fact on our show.
I did.
A long time ago.
I did.
Which was, can you imagine what their inmates?
Yeah.
With the guy standing on the other
A
side
lot
of
of
the fence.
whistles and whatnot. Like, woo woo.
Hello, cat calls. The cat calls. What am I, a cat? See, there you go. And then you can start quoting the movie again, like a little saucer of milk. Jump from tree to tree on nimbly bimbly.
Did they talk about a sequel to this? Doing a sequel to this movie?
That is actually one of my facts, sir. You are jumping
Oh,
the
look
gun
at me,
there,
look at me.
Farva.
Yeah.
You're pulling a vintage Farva right there. But one of the main scenes from that movie is they're chugging milk, or not milk, they're chugging syrup, like maple syrup. And in the syrup chugging scene, the first few takes were done with the actors drinking thick iced tea from syrup containers. But the iced tea didn't look realistic enough. Real syrup was brought in, and the actors then did several takes in which they actually chugged entire bottles of syrup.
Oh,
These are the takes you see in the close-ups. However, some wide shots with the iced tea were kept in. So that was actual syrup, maple syrup that they were chugging.
Ugh, that's gotta be terrible.
Love it on my pancakes. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can like shoot or like
I don't do
shotgun syrup
I can't do it that big of a thing. I've done it like the little tiny cups that they give you.
like at
Yeah.
McDonald's, like the little like.
Yeah,
I can chug that, but like the big containers that they do in the no way.
I remember those the iced tea syrup things. I remember we used to have those. That would be easy to chug. No problem. Give me like 5 of those.
Iced
I'll do
tea.
it.
Yeah, I can drink iced tea all day,
Yeah.
like Uncle Si. But speaking of that sequel that you were talking about, in May 2013, it was announced that filming would begin on Super Troopers 2 in 2013 and have a tentative release date of 2014.
Are they filming or what's happening? I have not heard
This
anything.
is the last I tried to look into it. This is all I really saw.
Wow.
Hopefully more details go in, but so apparently sequel's coming up. So
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since then. I remember talking about it on the show.
Angry
but
Man 2, Super Troopers 2 now.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
can you imagine? Man.
Why not? It did so well.
So it's about an hour and
I'd
40
be in the
minutes
seat.
on Netflix, American Netflix. Hopefully it's on every nation's Netflix. This movie's hilarious.
It should be. Yeah.
But that is this week's Vic's pick.
Great pick, sir.
Awesome pick. Good movie. Good movie.
It's for a cop.
And now it's time for Brett and Vic to name that movie. I'm going to give them a plot of a Christmas movie since it is December.
Crossing my fingers over here that I can get this one right.
And they have for the rest of the show to figure out that movie. So here is the plot, guys. Are you ready?
Yes.
With their daughter away, her parents decide to skip Christmas altogether until she decides to come home, causing an uproar when they have to celebrate the holidays at the last minute.
I feel like I should know this one.
I
Like, it
already
sounds
know this
familiar.
one. I should have had last week. I got one word wrong in the title, and I knew it. I know this one, though.
Okay, well,
We'll compare notes.
yes,
during
you
the break,
guys
so.
compare notes, and when we come back, we have some weekly film facts, so do not go away! And we are back.
All right, you guys. It's time for some weekly film facts, and with The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug due out this Friday, I thought maybe we should just have some Hobbit film facts for you here. So I got 4. Went a little crazy this week. Got excited.
It is
But
Christmas time.
it's Christmas
or
time.
holiday. Sorry, it's
It's-
holiday time.
Yes,
It's almost
Sorry.
near, though. It's almost
it's
near.
the season of giving. So
So you're
Well, then
giving.
Give.
I'm giving you 4 Hobbit facts. Here we go. Peter Jackson claims that when he called Christopher Lee to invite him to the premiere of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey in 2012, Lee responded intimidatingly, "Am I still in the movie?" Lee had originally been slated to appear in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the final installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but his scenes were cut from the theatrical release, which caused the actor and director to have a brief falling out.
Oh, I did not know that.
And it's weird because I don't really, because I was really young when I saw the theatrical version, but I mean ever since then I watched it on DVD, so I watched the extended version, and I've always seen him in the third movie, so I was kind of confused there for a second. But apparently he was not in the theatrical cut.
Yes.
Daniel Radcliffe, Shia LaBeouf, James McAvoy, Aaron Arkin, and Tobey Maguire were considered for the role of Bilbo Baggins. However, Peter Jackson has said that his first choice was always Martin Freeman. Freeman was initially unable to accept the role due to the scheduling conflicts with Sherlock, but Jackson reworked the entire shooting schedule for the Hobbit films to accommodate him. So he really wanted Martin Freeman,
What a guy.
and he found a way to make sure he got into the film. And really now, I mean, could you see like Daniel Radcliffe or Shia LaBeouf playing a young Bilbo Baggins?
No, I don't think I would enjoy it as much.
I don't either. Martin Freeman, I think, is the perfect guy.
Yeah, he's an
And he was
awesome.
working on Sherlock with Benedict
Yeah,
Cumberbatch.
with Benedict Cumberbatch,
So,
who was in The Hobbit as well as the Necromancer and the voice of Smaug.
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 I always thought it was Smaug, but
Smaug.
I've been hearing the trailers on
The Desolation
on
of
TV.
Smaug.
It's the Desolation of Smaug. So I'm like,
Smaug.
all right, I
Smaug.
gotta get technical.
Smaug.
The 3D IMAX prints consisted of 98 reels, totaling over 21 and a half miles of combined film length. 21 and a half miles of film for the IMAX version of The Hobbit. That's insane.
Insane in the membrane.
21 and a half miles. You look baffled right now, Vic.
I'm trying to think where they can even put it.
I don't know. That's crazy. 98 reels. That is...
Because I'm looking
insane.
at the ones that Brian has up on his wall here.
Yeah. Imagine
Yeah.
98 of those.
On my wall.
That's insane.
That'd be your,
You're trying to
that'd
look
be
at
your
the
whole
scale
wall.
of the wall. Yeah.
I actually have film print around here somewhere.
And finally, The Hobbit was the first of Peter Jackson's Middle-earth films that does not incorporate the film's subtitle into a line of dialogue. So, in The Fellowship of the Ring, the words The Fellowship of the Ring were said in Two Towers. Same thing, Return of the King. An Unexpected Journey is not said throughout the entire movie. And also, I'll throw in a little side fact. The subtitle, An Unexpected Journey, doesn't appear in The Hobbit until 13 minutes into the film. So at the beginning it says The Hobbit, 13 minutes later it has The Unexpected Journey. Kind of weird.
Yes.
Different style, but yes. Getting excited for the release of The Hobbit.
It's almost here.
Very exciting here. But yeah, that is the weekly film facts for y'all.
Good facts, man. Good facts. Well, we're going to dive right back into the news. Yeah.
Head first or like pinky toes first?
whichever you
Did you see his hand
prefer.
gesture?
Dive
Dive right back
in.
into the news.
Yes, dive right back in. Well, we're going to talk about, well, another sequel. I'm sure a lot of people remember Tom Cruise in the Jack Reacher film. Well, they're going to be doing another one because Paramount is developing a Jack Reacher sequel based on Lee Child's Never Go Back book.
So, The first one was based off a book, then, correct?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, Lee Child's popular ex-military anti-hero Jack Reacher was brought to the screen by Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie, who will be reteaming soon for the 5th installment of Cruise's action franchise, Mission Impossible 5.
So he's going to be doing Mission Impossible and Jack Reacher?
Yes.
They kind of remind me of each other. I mean, Jack Reacher just
In a way.
reminds me of a different, Mission Impossible. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. So,
The intro to that, or like the beginning scene where that sniper's in the parking lot, something similar happened to that like in real life during that time. So it was kind of intense to see that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like something similar happened, and just to see that on screen, it was just kind of
Creepy.
took you out of nowhere, you know.
well, in the novel, Reacher goes back to his old Virginia military base to have dinner with a female colleague who he learns has been arrested, and soon Reacher finds himself being charged with crimes himself once again. He needs to learn the truth the way that only Jack Reacher knows how, which is often means violence.
I like Tom Cruise. I think he's a good actor.
Help me, Tom Cruise!
Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Oprah Winfrey! I mean, he does a lot of action films. He
Kind of his thing.
Yeah, he does. I mean, obviously, he does Mission Impossible. He does this. He did Oblivion this past summer. I like seeing him do dramatic roles, like Collateral.
Well,
One of his better roles.
speaking, Cruise's next film, actually, Edge of Tomorrow, actually premiered its trailer today. But he also is going to be in a racing movie called Go Like Hell, in which he will play a Mustang designer, Carroll Shelby, as it tells the story of the rivalry between Ford and Ferrari to become the premium sports car during the 1960s.
Sounds like another action film, sort of.
/ maybe biopic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, you think, Rain Man, one of his more memorable performances, Collateral. I like seeing him do dramatic performances. I mean, I know action is his thing.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Born on the 4th of July.
Born on the 4th of July. I like seeing him
I
do...
can go on and on about Tom
yeah.
Cruise.
I mean, I like seeing him do performances where he's really got to test his acting ability, because I think he's a really, really good actor. I mean, Collateral is one of my favorite movies of his.
So, yeah, he plays a damn good villain.
Yeah, he does. But I mean, obviously you know me. I'm not an action fan really, but I mean, Jack Reacher did well, and we kind of talked about a sequel in the past. I kind of expected it.
The one movie I'm still waiting for him to do, which I've been waiting for a while since they rumored it, was his character from Tropic Thunder.
I feel that's what you were talking about.
Because that is a damn good character.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. When we first saw it, I actually didn't know it was Tom Cruise until the credits. That's how good he did.
Well, that character was so well done. Like, he actually hosted the MTV Music Awards, or Movie Awards, one of the two, I don't remember, as that character. And he even had a dance sequence with J-Lo.
I believe he was nominated for a Golden Globe for that role.
Yeah.
Or was it an Academy Award? I think it was Golden Globe, actually.
I think you might be thinking of Robert Downey Jr. because he was nominated for his role, too, in that.
I think they were both Golden Globes, because I don't
I don't-
think that's Oscar material.
I don't remember, but I know they were both nominated for those roles.
Then when he was in Tropic Thunder as well.
Yeah.
Remember that? Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you guys were talking about when he was the Rock of Ages. I thought you were talking about
Oh,
that.
no, not
Screw
that.
that movie.
That actually wasn't a bad movie.
I never saw it.
I never saw it.
I've seen...
I think that movie kind of got overhyped, but it wasn't a bad movie.
No, but yeah, I think it was Golden Globes they got nominated
Les
for.
Grossman.
For me, honestly, I think Tom Cruise is the biggest superstar out there right now.
One of them, I think, so, yeah.
Of course, you got Will Smith and whatnot, but I think Tom Cruise, for me anyways, I think Tom Cruise is like the top kind of star.
Yeah.
But now we're going back into the Marvel news. We promised a lot of Marvel. We deliver a lot of Marvel, because that's all that's going on right now. It's all Marvel.
It almost sounded like you said Marble, like the cigarettes.
Marlboro? Marlboro? No.
That's
about...
one of our sponsors.
Is it really?
No.
No. I was going to say, no. Unless it's like the candy one.
We're going to be like Ricky Bobby, where we have no sponsors. It's just a cheetah or that says me on it.
Can we put something on our windshield as well? Can we put...
It's dangerous, but I do love the fake news.
But, so, Hugh Jackman, apparently he's unsure about returning as Wolverine. Even though he is already developing a third Wolverine film for 20th Century Fox, the man himself, Hugh Jackman, is seemingly once again having doubts about his return as a character. Speaking with Vanity Fair, he said he was still on the fence about doing the next solo film. So,
Yeah.
he went on to tell him that, he said, quote, "I don't know whether or not I will do the next movie. I'm really proud of the Wolverine, and I'm excited to develop something with Jim Mangold from the beginning, because that's a great ride. But to see what we came up with, but I have very high expectations of what it needs to be for me to return in it. So he has his own, I guess, his own point of view or his own images of what he wants the next one to be. If it's not living up to him, he might not join back. But he also revealed that he's not committed to any other future films in the X-Men franchise following next year's X-Men Days of Future Past. So,
Well, I mean, how long has he been doing the Wolverine? It's been
well, since
Been a while.
the first X-Men movie,
which was in like 2000,
early 2000.
Yeah. So I mean, we see this happen with a lot of actors who play superhero roles. They don't want to get stuck into playing that role for 10 years. I mean, he wants to explore other possibilities. I mean, he was just nominated for an Academy Award a few years ago for Les Mis, so he's got the acting ability to be an Academy Award nominee like he's been in the past. But if you're going to be stuck playing Wolverine, it's going to kind of limit to what you can do.
It's also reported that he was actually uninterested in returning for Days of Future Past. So apparently he's been kind of on the fence about it for
A while, yeah.
for the last couple movies. So, but who would replace? Is there anybody out there you think that could replace him?
It's kind of hard to.
He basically is Wolverine.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, he looks like the sketch.
Yeah.
He is.
Like the character was based almost off him, just the way he looks. But like, I honestly can't imagine anybody else playing that character. Just like we've talked about Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Like, that's the character, and if like no one else plays it, then it's like.
I mean, we've seen a lot of Supermans, a lot of Batmans, but he's been the only Wolverine. So yeah, I don't think you could really replace somebody like Hugh Jackman. So I mean, if he were not to come back, I don't think they would do him anymore, which would be kind of disappointing.
I don't think they'd be as successful. I think people would still see it just because of the name, and it's it's a comic book movie. But as far as them actually, I mean, who knows though?
Yeah.
Studios have surprised us before with actual good stuff. Doesn't happen all the time.
I say if he doesn't come back, drop that character and start doing Gambit movies.
And not the
Just
Gambit
because
from,
you
like,
want it.
I want Gambit. He's badass.
I don't think he's not one of the more popular X-Men characters.
He's one of those like cult favorite characters. So
I demand Gambit.
See, I don't know. Maybe if Hugh Jackman were to leave, I don't know if they would do like a younger version of the Wolverine. Like, we've never seen the Wolverine where he's wearing like the yellow and blue before, have we?
No,
Are they-
he's never worn that in the movies.
They could do that.
well, they kind of made fun of it in like the X-Men movies, where they're like, "What do you want to do? Wear yellow spandex?" And he's like, "You're right. I should probably just wear this black like leather." So, but he had yellow like in that suit too. It wasn't like extremely visible or like all yellow. But I can't really see anybody else being Wolverine.
Yeah, I
can't
can't
either.
either.
Could be just like a money ploy, like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
to
But
get
he has
more-
been
to get
doing
more
it
money out of
for
it.
Yeah,
like
he's
what,
been
like
doing-
15 probably.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a
say
long
like
time.
15 years.
I think he's the longest tenured superhero character ever.
As far as like the actor playing that role,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't think of anybody else.
I can't either.
I mean, me personally, if the checks keep coming in,
But he's,
I'd be happy.
like
with
I
it.
said, I mean, he's a really good actor. I mean, he's an Academy Award nominee, so why not?
But speaking of even more comic book news, because again, that's what it's all about nowadays.
That's the trend.
That's what's hot in the streets right now, as the kids say. But Amy Adams was actually interviewed recently because she was doing some stuff for American Hustle. Woo! Which we all want to see, of course, comes
Yeah.
out pretty soon. So now that Gal Gadot has been casted as Wonder Woman, they wanted to get kind of her thoughts on what was going on. While talking to Amy Adams, she took the time to tell ComingSoon.net superhero hype about how she'd feel if the Wonder Woman presence led to a love triangle. Because we all know, well, I don't know if we all know, but Superman and Wonder Woman, they sometimes date each other, sometimes they're just really good friends. Just kind of depends on like the series that you're reading. But Amy said, "Am I interested? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I hope that I can be involved with a woman on screen where we're not in a love triangle. That would be fun. Maybe where we team up together and we work as teammates instead of adversaries." So she kind of maybe wants to have Superman all to herself, is what she's saying. But what do you guys think? You think Wonder Woman's going to come in and just kind of steal Superman's heart away, or?
I'm sure it's probably going to play a part in the storyline.
There's definitely going to be some friction between the two. I mean, you're seeing that a lot now where people are adding, multiple villains or multiple female leads, like in The Amazing Spider-Man. You got Electro, and then you got the Green Goblin. You're seeing that a lot now with multiple villains, multiple lead roles. So, yeah, there's going to be some friction between those two.
So we'll see how that goes. They start filming in February, like we mentioned, so more details will be coming out hopefully really soon. So
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, now it's time for the unscripted movie scenes, take 2.
Woo!
One of them actually is a comic book movie. The other one, a very well-known comedy movie.
Woo!
Woo!
Well, the first one is from X-Men First Class.
All right.
Yes. The improvisation was actually from Hugh Jackman himself. He actually had a line in that movie where he actually drops an F-bomb.
Woo!
He actually says, "Go fuck yourself," in the cameo that he makes in the movie, but originally it was scripted to say "fuck off," not "go fuck yourself."
That's 3 times.
Yes. The line was in the script, but after trying that 7 times over and over again, Jackman let rip with something a little more graphic.
Was that? I never saw First Class. That was in the.
He has a quick little cameo. It was great to see, you know.
He says that?
He says it. Yeah, it kind of took everybody by surprise. Everybody in theater was kind of surprised and then laughed.
He is the first character in any of the X-Men movies to drop the F-bomb.
Pretty sure he's still the only one.
He is the only one.
Wow.
He is the only one. Which means that kind of shows you how big that character is.
Yeah. He can do it.
You got permission to drop the F-bomb.
Go ahead.
Yes. And last but not least, The Hangover. Yes. And we're going to talk about Zach Galifianakis, his character as Alan. All the things that he makes the baby do is completely the unspeakable things itself. None of that stuff was in the script.
So jacking up at the table?
Yeah. He actually went on by pointing, well, that's...
Not at the table, Carlos.
The one improv that will haunt me for the rest of my life is the scene where I make the baby do sexual acts. This was quoted by Zach. And he even said, so that was improvised not with a real baby, obviously, but a doll. I was like, Todd, look at this. And Todd, the director, was like, oh, we have to put that in the movie. So, yeah, that was all improvised.
Who comes up, like, well, how would you... You're like, oh, I'm going to make the baby touch himself. Like, who...
I don't know.
But not at the table, Carlos. Come on, where are your manners?
He's the type to do that. I mean, if you've ever watched his stand-up, he improvises a lot, even in his stand-up, so... That's just...
I don't know. I thought that was interesting. That was all his idea.
Yeah. That's Zach. That's totally him. That's, he pretty much plays himself in that movie, for the most part. I mean, I don't know. If you watch his stand-up, he's just...
I've seen
I don't know if he can play anything other than Alan. I mean, that's who he is. And also, I mean, like in the campaign, he's got a different voice, but he's still playing himself, kind of.
It's worth the Google.
And Dinner for Schmucks, too. He's in that movie.
Yeah.
He kind of plays himself in that, too.
Oh, where, he's having a little scene with Steve Carell.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Zach Galifianakis for sure.
Yeah,
So-
I thought that was interesting, though.
It was.
That's kind of weird to know that he did that by himself, though. I don't know. But, so, moving on, we're going to go back into Superman vs. Batman news. And there's another actor being rumored to join the cast.
Never heard of this man before.
Jason
Momoa.
You
But
want
he's actually from Game of Thrones, apparently, and he was in the Conan the Barbarian reboot. The Hollywood Reporter's Heat Vision blog has learned that he's in negotiations to join the cast. There's still nothing official. There's some rumors going on about who he might play. One of them is Doomsday, who's a pretty big villain for Superman. The other one would be possibly Martian Manhunter. So he's an alien, obviously a Martian. But they still haven't really decided who he's going to play or if he's actually going to join. But, you know, with the Flash still being rumored and maybe even Nightwing still being rumored, he could be anybody at this point.
Well, because I saw a picture, because
He's a bigger dude, yeah.
I saw the story and I had that picture of him. Like, he just looks like he's made to play a villain.
See, that's what I mean. Like, multiple villains. Like, we've heard Lex Luthor. If he plays a villain, like, there's going to be so many people in this movie.
They're still not sure if it's actually going to be a sequel to Man of Steel, because it's looking like more maybe of like a Justice League movie as opposed to like an actual sequel with everybody that's being involved so far. But, you know, still nothing actually like concrete or official.
We know nothing, really.
We know that Ben Affleck is Batman.
And then the rest is all rumors.
Yeah, they've been keeping hush-hush, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
That picture that I posted on our Facebook page, a lot of people saw that, but no one really gave us their thoughts on what they thought. I think it was just him wearing a Batman t-shirt It looked pretty good. I could picture the rest of like the outfit and whatnot. So
He looks ripped.
he looks pretty buff.
He looks a lot bigger than he did.
I say we should all
Long
buy
ago.
Batman shirts like that and then put our photos up there
Yeah.
and compare between.
I would need to do some
us and-
push-ups. Go on a strict diet.
Yeah, I'm going to do push-ups for like 3 months straight first. And then we'll see.
Sit-ups. My pull-ups.
Your
My
pull-ups,
sit-ups.
your sit-ups.
Do all that stuff.
Yeah, there's no way.
But speaking of other characters in comic book, Seal, we should just call this like the Marvel podcast.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about, just Marvel,
That's Disney.
Disney. Buy us now, Disney. Buy us now.
You can find us on eBay.
What? Are you selling me on eBay? Like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Shh.
Human trafficking going on?
I thought that was banned.
You're not supposed to tell them.
Well,
Creepy.
anywho, BJ Novak, who of course is most famous for possibly his role in The Office, because he's been in other movies like Inglourious Basterds and like he seems to show up in like random movies.
He
So
was knocked up for like a second.
the Doctor.
Yeah.
So you single? What do you say? Like
Are you
someone
guys together?
Yeah. She's having a baby. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Back in March, director Mark Webb confirmed The Office star BJ Novak had joined the cast of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, though he was never specified as to what character he would be playing. In a recent interview with the Huffington Post, Novak offers some hints as to who his character is by saying, and I quote, "I'm in a couple scenes, yeah, I was never told whether or not I could say that I work at Oscorp, and I am someone from the comic books, someone from the original. So yeah, I'm somebody. I wouldn't say I'm pivotal, but I'm not an extra either." So there's been a couple, of course it's the internet, so there's rumors abound. They were saying he might be a young Otto Octavius, who turns into, of course, Doc Ock. And also Spencer Smythe, who was actually in like the 1990s cartoon. He's never really been done before in any kind of like Spider-Man things except for the cartoon. So it'd be cool to see like what he looks like in on screen. But with that said, The Amazing Spider-Man does open up May 2nd, 2014, starring Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx, Dane DeHaan, just everybody, Paul Giamatti. And who do you guys think he might? Do you guys really know Spider-Man at all? Like,
I think I've heard a lot of rumors about Doc Ock in future films, so I think that might make a little sense.
Well, yeah, this whole thing, our whole show is based on Spider-Man right now. It seems like because our next topic, carrying on to it.
there's a lot of Spider-Man left in this show.
Yeah, there's a lot of Spider-Man, so we might as well just kind of carry on and then kind of just go right into it and talk about it. But speaking of Andrew Garfield, this past week he had an interview with the Yahoo Movies UK, and apparently he dropped a pretty big bombshell regarding the future of the franchise, basically saying that he may not be coming back for the fourth film.
And it's kind of similar to what we talked about with Hugh Jackman. I mean, he had only been in a few things before he did Spider-Man that were like really notable, The Social Network. But this kind of launched him into the spotlight a little bit. People are starting to recognize him for, you're Spider-Man. And after Spider-Man, he's going to start to get bigger roles, but he doesn't want to get locked into Spider-Man to where he can't do those other things. So, I mean, that's...
Otherwise, he'll just be known as the guy that's dating Emma Stone.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Which isn't a bad thing, though.
That's not a bad thing at all.
There are worse things on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean... If you're playing a superhero, you don't want to. If you want to explore other aspects of your career, you don't want to get locked into playing one character for 6, 7, 8 years. So I mean, I understand.
Yeah, he went on by quoting, I'm under contract for another one after this. As far as for the fourth one, that's not anything to do with me.
Yep. See. So I don't know. I mean, the only thing I could see that might change his mind, it would have to involve Disney purchasing Sony. Because if they were to put him in the Avengers, I'm sure he would be damn interested in doing that because he would make a lot of cash for that. But he wants to get some other roles besides Spider-Man. So
No, if Disney and Sony would just collaborate and work together.
I know they could. I mean, Spider-Man's he's got to be in the Avengers. He's one of the most recognizable superheroes on the planet. So I mean, I don't know. They should have. I mean, they purchased the merchandising rights. You think they would purchase? New word.
That's a new word.
Merchandising.
You think they would purchase everything else? I don't know. terrible.
It sucks how, two different companies own different characters to where normally in that universe, there obviously isn't any like, oh, I own this thing, I own this
Yeah.
thing. Like
It's the
everybody,
Stretch Armstrong effect.
Yeah.
you have
You got the
Spider-Man over here, you got Wolverine. They always seem to team up like in the comics and stuff. I guess you'll never see that. And, you have the Hulk and Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets around with everybody.
Yeah.
So,
He gets
Punisher.
around.
I mean, Sony's smart because, I mean, they're seeing what Marvel's doing right now, and they're like, we want to make some of that money, too. I mean, we got Spider-Man. Why would we sell it? And I don't think they're going to, but they should. Because I think they can make a lot more money if they were with Disney.
See, if I was Disney, because I know Sony's never going to sell that. Like, if I was Disney, if I was chairman, I'd be like, okay, they're not going to sell it, so let's collaborate with them. Let's get them under our wing.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50, and just make a buttload of money.
Because they would.
it's like that Twix commercial where one company makes the left one and the other
makes
company
the
makes the
right,
right one,
yeah.
and they never want to hang out together. So
But, I mean, if Andrew Garfield is only going to be on board for one more film, I mean, it's pointless. Because, I mean, if he doesn't come back for the fourth one, where's the franchise go from there? And they find a new
Another
Spider-Man? Yeah, another reboot. The Amazing Spider-Man.
they're thinking about doing like the evil like villains,
Yeah.
Sinister Six, which is why they're saying that there might be that many villains in this next one because they want to set up all the 6 villains. So maybe instead of superheroes, it's gonna
And
be
if
villains.
they did reboot it, it'd be the Incredible Amazing Spider-Man.
The Incredible Amazing Spider-Man, yeah. There's just... The possibilities are endless right now for comic book films, but we are going to end our comic book discussions.
For now.
For now, yes. There's a brief comic book mention later in the show, but we're actually going to talk about some sci-fi stuff here. Star Trek, Star Wars. But we're going to start off with Star Trek because there was a progression, I guess you could say. I call it...
Degression?
Yeah, as far as
Degression.
screenwriters go for the third installment of Star Trek. The first 2 films were written by Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, and they were very well written and did very well. But apparently, Star Trek has hired 2 new screenwriters named J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. And when I first heard these names, I was like, okay, I have no idea who these guys are. I looked them up on IMDb.
And they don't even know who they are.
This would be their first screenwriting credit ever.
Oh, no.
They haven't written it. I mean, they might have written other things, but this is the first thing that they would be getting credit for.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, but apparently, I mean, this is probably why they got recognized, because they recently completed a task for J.J. Abrams himself. They adapted the graphic novel Boilerplate by Paul Guinan and Anina Bennett, which was, I mean, obviously Abrams kind of liked what he saw, so he gave them the job to write alongside with Roberto Orci. So it's not just these 2 unknown writers are doing it themselves. They're going to be working with one of the 2 original screenwriters, because apparently Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, they always write together, but Alex Kurtzman will not be returning to write with his screenwriting partner. So I mean, I don't know what happened there, but it's not Kurtzman and Orci. It's just Orci and then J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. So
Man, this Star Trek is not having a good slick right now.
you lose J.J. Abrams, he goes over to the dark side, and then you lose Alex Kurtzman, which, I mean, for unknown reasons, too. I don't know why. And then you hired 2 unknown screenwriters to help Roberto Orci write it. So, I mean...
It sounds exactly like the plot of Star Wars right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, it's just...
He was like Obi-Wan, and now he's no more.
Exactly. It's inappropriate, though, when you're talking about Star Trek, Brian. You might get some Trekkies on you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was, I don't know where I stand. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, if it was Kurtzman and Orci, then I'd be, okay, that's fine. I mean, at least you still got Roberto Orci, but...
I think I would have to stand in the middle. Like, it's kind of like you don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet. It's just, I think time will tell.
But, I mean, if J.J. Abrams, he told these guys to adapt a graphic novel and he liked what he saw, then they obviously must be pretty good.
Well, yeah, obviously he has a lot of trust in him to give, such a big franchise like this. So, I mean, apparently there's a lot of trust that he has for these 2.
Talent, yeah.
So, I don't know, me personally, I haven't read it, so I don't know, but, if Abrams believes in him, then obviously they have a good shot at, delivering.
And if it was just these 2 writing it themselves, then I might feel a little more skeptical, but, I mean, like I said, they still have one of the 2 original writers from the first 2 films.
So they basically won, a writing contest, and
Sort of like that.
in a way.
In a way, yeah. They kind of just They did something for Abrams.
He liked it.
Liked it. Here you go. Got a job. Pretty cool, too. I mean, they've never written anything, and they get to write Star Trek 3. Do you know how crazy that is? What a way to start off your screenwriting career.
My mind would have been blown
Yeah, me too.
away.
But things are just getting a little worse for Star
Exactly.
Trek. Things are getting a little out of hand. First, you got a couple of rookie screenwriters. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to expect. But then you have a director who drops out. Because I remember a couple weeks ago, I talked about a British director named Joe Cornish. He directed a film called Attack the Block, which is a sci-fi film. A lot of people had a lot of faith in this guy. But Variety is reporting that Joe Cornish is now out for unknown reasons as the director of Star Trek 3. So it's just one thing after the next. Cornish, he had been working on a Star Trek. Like, he'd been pitching ideas, all these things, even though he did not have an offer in place. He wasn't the director, but he was kind of acting as director. They thought they were going to make him an offer. I guess they couldn't agree to terms or something, but now the installment is directorless, and there is not even a script yet, so they're scriptless, and they want to get this film out by 2016 to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. So they don't got a whole lot of time. They don't have a director. They don't have a script. They got nothing right now.
That's not a good sign.
I mean, but so now you got to start thinking. You got an empty director's chair. Who do you have direct the Star Trek film? Got any names?
Maybe they're doing all this to stall to get Abrams back.
I have a couple suggestions here.
Definitely not Michael Mann.
No.
Please not
for the
Michael
love of
Mann.
God, no.
I was thinking Edgar Wright. I mean, he did The World's End. He's getting ready to do Ant-Man. And hey, you got Simon Pegg in Star Trek. They're pretty good friends there. I mean,
They're buddies.
that might be a potential matchup. I was also thinking Brad Bird. He's doing Tomorrowland, which is a sci-fi film. He was also actually rumored to, when Star Wars was looking for a director, he was one of the names mentioned, but he was kind of skeptical because, he's taking over something that was unknown. He didn't know where to take it. Star Trek's a little more established because there's already been 2 remakes already, so it just come in and, fill a slot. It's not taking over something big. Gavin Hood, who a lot of people might not recognize, but he recently directed Ender's Game. So, I mean, that was a sci-fi film. It did pretty well in the box office. He did a good job of handling a big sci-fi budget film. He directed pretty good actor in Harrison Ford and a young kid.
Ben Kingsley.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
he might be a potential suitor. But finally, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams. I mean, I know he left Star Trek to go and direct Star Wars, but, I mean, if you think about it right now, with no director, no script,
It's gonna get delayed.
yeah, Star Wars is starting to film early 2014 with a release date for 2015. So if you think about it, theoretically, the schedule might align perfectly to where he could actually return for Star Trek 3. And he's actually still attached as a producer for Star Trek 3.
Stars are lining up.
So I don't know. Maybe he'll.
I see what you did there.
And
Yeah, you saw that?
he doesn't have a contract, as far as we know. He doesn't have any sort of commitment with Disney. As far as we know, he's directing Episode 7, and that's it. We don't know about Episode 8 or 9. So, theoretically, he could come back and direct Star Trek 3. So, I mean, it might be unlikely, but it's possible. So, there you go.
If that's the case, then us Star Wars fans and Trekkies have to get along.
Wouldn't that be history, though? You direct Star Trek and Star Wars simultaneously?
It'd even be even more crazier. And I'm just throwing this out there, since Disney's done like the Avengers, if they like collaborate the Star
God.
Wars and Star Trek together,
Right.
you don't know. There'd be a lot of that. I would be interested in seeing that.
Call it Trek Wars.
There you go.
Trek Wars.
I would freaking pay to see that.
I don't know. 2 totally different worlds. I mean, George-
sci-fi,
George-
yeah, but like not,
That
same
will never
thing.
happen.
I wouldn't care what George Lucas thinks. Ever since he raped Indiana Jones, like I have no faith in him and could care less what he thinks.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever happen. But
Interesting. I know it won't, but I think it would be really interesting.
But I don't know. Maybe Edgar Wright.
I actually like Edgar Wright a lot, especially after at the World's End.
Mhm.
Not necessarily a a little bit of a sci-fi thing, but kind of the visuals kind of remind
Really,
me. Now
anybody
that I
on
think
that
about
list
it,
would be, I think, a good candidate.
because now that I think about it, it did kind of have like that Star Trek kind of flair, kind of J.J. Abrams kind of look to it. So I mean, I could see him doing fine with it. So I wouldn't have a problem with Edgar Wright.
Or I mean, they could like promote from within. They could go with maybe Abrams' cinematographer, but that might be kind of difficult because he's doing the cinematography work for Star Wars. So, but I mean, a lot of people do that. Cinematographers, I don't know, they can go with somebody completely off the radar. But I thought those were a couple potential good picks there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But really, I think the intriguing one is maybe J.J. Abrams. I think there's still a chance. I think the door's open slightly for him to return to direct the third installment.
The Final Frontier.
Yeah. But we are going to now jump in and go to Star Wars here. I posted a picture on our Instagram and Facebook of Darth Vader taking a selfie with a cell phone.
It looked amazing.
Looked pretty hilarious, I thought. But, I mean, obviously, if you didn't get the gist of it, Star Wars officially launched an Instagram page.
I'm gonna have to find this page and like it.
I liked it. I mean, I don't know of any films that have really created an Instagram. I'm sure there have been. But, I mean, usually you see, like, a movie, they have a website, a Twitter account, Facebook. But I've never really... I mean, I'm sure there have been, but I've never personally seen an Instagram for a movie. So I thought that's pretty cool. It's a good way to promote your film even before it comes out.
Is that the only picture they have so far?
No, they got a lot more. A lot of historical Star Wars films. Nothing about Episode 7, but that's how they will post.
I was more curious about if there was any other selfies.
No, there's no more selfies.
Darn.
But
I was curious to see if they had like a Jabba the Hutt selfie or Jango Fett.
Jabba, that one would be really hard to do. Get him his whole. I don't know about that. I think it's a great way to promote Episode 7. It's a great way to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure this if this is the first movie that's actually.
I'm sure there has been other.
I've
never seen them though.
I wouldn't know, but I mean, if this is, then obviously it's gonna catch on.
Yeah.
191,000 followers already. Not really sure when it started, but it has 21 pictures. Kind of just random. I'm looking at it right now. There's just random stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm gonna be excited when they actually start showing pictures of like Episode 7 stuff. What am I looking at here? What is it?
Ooh.
What's a picture of?
Nothing but Leia's.
Yeah, nothing but Leia's.
It's a great picture.
Yeah. Did you like that already? Yeah.
Yeah, I posted the link to their Instagram page on our Facebook and Twitter, so if you want to go ahead, if you have an Instagram, you can go ahead and follow them if you haven't already. But I don't know, I thought it was a cool way to promote the movie, and it's going to be cool when they actually start posting pictures like behind the scenes of Episode 7. That'll be exciting stuff. But on the subject of Star Wars, I mean, it's been nothing but rumors as far as casting goes, and we haven't heard anything official yet except for R2-D2, which is exciting, but we want to see some human faces, you know? But it sounds like this is probably the most serious that they have gotten towards a casting because, and I've never heard of this guy before. Bleeding Cool, they broke the news that Jack O'Connell, he's had multiple meetings with J.J. Abrams and his Star Wars team, and they went very, very well from what I've heard. He might fit this character description that came out. A young man to play 19 to 23 years old, must be handsome, smart, and athletic, must be over 18, will play Thomas. This is an alias name, of course. Has grown up without a father's influence, without the model of being a man. He doesn't have the strongest sense of himself. Despite this, he is smart, capable, and shows courage when it is needed. He can appreciate the absurdities of life and understands you can't take life too seriously. So, first off, Matt Smith, who I mentioned a couple weeks ago, he's the current Doctor on Doctor Who. He was kind of talked about for this role, but apparently he's out. He's not going to do it. So Matt Smith is gone. This is the first that we've heard anybody having multiple meetings with Abrams. We've heard some people have had auditions and meetings with Abrams, but we haven't heard anything about multiple meetings before. And it's also the first that we've heard feedback of how the meeting went, and it went very, very well. Jack O'Connell, he's a British actor. He's most notable for his role on the British television show Skins. He'll also be seen in the sequel to 300 Rise of an Empire, so he'll be in that film. A lot of people think that he might be playing, if he gets the role, the son of Luke Skywalker, which would be a major arc. He would be in all three films, so this is kind of like
a big thing.
Yeah. So, and just the way it sounded, the way the meeting went very, very well. He had multiple meetings. It sounds like they're serious about this guy Jack O'Connell, and I think they're kind of wanting to go. They don't want to get like maybe a big name star. They want to kind of go under the radar a little bit. That's what they did with Hayden Christensen when he was casted as Anakin Skywalker.
You haven't seen him since.
Exactly. They want to get.
He was in Takers, which was actually a good movie.
But I mean, since then I haven't really seen him.
Yeah, after that, no.
But I mean, it'd be kind of the same for this guy. He hasn't done a whole lot. He's not there yet, but this would really help him out. So I don't know. And just the way he looks like he could play like a Luke Skywalker's son. So just another rumor, of course, but this one sounds a little more serious here. So we'll see how that progresses. But that is not the end of the news. It's almost the end of the news, but
End of Star Wars news.
Going along with Disney, I mean, usually we talk about Star Wars, but
This is different. This kind of came out of nowhere, and I was actually kind of excited to hear about this. Because ever since they did buy Lucasfilm, it's been nothing but Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But this past week, the Lucasfilm franchise Indiana Jones has been brought up now.
Mm-hmm.
After Disney and Paramount Pictures finally have announced that they have reached a marketing and distribution agreement for the franchise. Under the arrangement, Disney will gain marketing and distribution rights to the feature films, in addition to retaining its current ownership rights, which is secured when it acquired Lucasfilm. Paramount will continue to be responsible for distribution of the first 4 films in the franchise and will receive a financial participation on any future films that are produced and released. So
That's huge right there.
Mm-hmm.
apparently we're going to be seeing some more Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't happen unless they had something planned. And we know the interest level that Harrison Ford has had. He's talked about it before, but I mean, we've heard more about, Shia LaBeouf's character, like a young Indiana Jones.
Well, George Lucas did discuss...
No me gusta.
George Lucas did last discuss a potential 5th big screen outing for Henry Jones Jr. back in 2011, suggesting that a story was already in place, but that the film was still in need of a MacGuffin, term popularized by Alfred Hitchcock. And MacGuffin refers to a narrative element that drives the story forward. The Indiana Jones series is famous for marketing the MacGuffin, the objects of Jones's search. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's the Ark of the Covenant. In Temple of Doom, it was the Shankara Stones. Last Crusade, it was the Holy Grail. And most recently, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it was the skull itself. So.
Yeah.
Although Disney will distribute any new entries in the franchise, Paramount retains the distribution rights to the first 4 films. Regardless of what happens with either Star Wars Episode VII or Indiana Jones 5, audience will not be without Harrison Ford on the big screen. He did 42 this past year, as well as Paranoia and Ender's Game, and can soon be seen in Anchorman 2.
Yeah, he's been a busy guy. He's getting back into the swing of things. He's going to be in Episode 7. That's for sure. He's kind of doubted it, but I mean, there's a full-scale Millennium Falcon built. You're on it, man.
Yeah, it's obviously Chewie ain't gonna be back to drive the damn thing, so you gotta have Harrison Ford back.
Well,
You see when he was on, what was it, Jimmy Fallon? Kimmel.
Harrison Ford?
Yeah. And they had Chewbacca in the audience.
Oh, did they?
Well, a fake Chewbacca.
Yeah,
And they went back and forth. They started like cussing at each other. And then Harrison Ford like stormed off stage. I'm sure it was all planned and whatnot, but
I never saw that.
I'll have to watch that.
it was Jimmy,
Kimmel?
the older one. Kimmel, right? Is that Kimmel?
Kimmel? The older one?
Yeah. So that's Jimmy Kimmel, right?
I don't even know which one's older. I thought, if you're talking about age, I mean, between talk show hosts, Jay Leno's pretty old, David Letterman's
No, it was
pretty old.
Jimmy Kimmel.
It was a Jimmy.
Yeah, it was a Jimmy, the older one, Kimmel.
Yeah, I think
Because
Kimmel's
Fallon's
older.
the other. Yeah, so it was Jimmy Kimmel. Go ahead and look that up on like YouTube. It was actually kind of funny because they go back and forth. So
Well, I mean, we've heard, like I said, how much interest Harrison Ford has had in potentially doing more Indiana Jones films. He's like 70, I don't know, he's in the 70s now, but yeah, he's been wanting to do it for a while, but I mean, yeah, I've heard more things about maybe like a spin-off of Shia LaBeouf's character.
I think it's funny how all the older actors, if you are like still big movie stars now, like even more so than like the younger talent.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, Sylvester Stallone, all the people from the Expendables, they're like the new action stars, even though they've already been action stars.
Yeah.
So
Trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
so this generation needs to step up a little bit.
Well, I mean, obviously they're planning something. If they wouldn't do this for nothing. They wouldn't.
Marketing schemes.
Yes. If
It's brilliant. It's genius.
they acquired the full rights, so I mean, if they wouldn't do that unless they had a script, if they didn't have a plan to make another Indiana Jones
Some
movie.
kind of idea at least.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when they first bought Lucasfilms, I mean, that's obviously you thought, okay, Star Wars, but the other thing you thought about is, okay, they own the rights to Indiana Jones, so I mean,
Well, yeah,
Why not?
you knew eventually they're
they
going to
take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
you want to do something with it. You don't just let it sit there.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
It's like if you're just going to let it sit there, then why buy it?
so we're gonna see.
maybe we'll see them on Netflix now too. Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe I don't know if they would decide to do like a young Indiana Jones. They did like a TV series of that, but I don't know.
Kind of like a prequel.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that's what the video game like Uncharted It is
Yeah.
kind of like a mixture of like Indiana
Well, yes,
Jones.
that's what I told him. I was like, to me, like, because at that point I thought the Indiana Jones franchise was completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't think they were gonna make any more, and I remember telling Brett, like, this is like the new Indiana Jones. Like, if they ever make a movie, this is gonna replace it.
Yeah. Well, we're probably going to be seeing some more Indiana Jones films, which is kind of exciting as long as George Lucas stays away from it.
Yes. Do not rape him anymore.
Please.
Please no.
Yes.
Seriously, please don't.
And now it's time for Trailer of the Week, which is...
Fittingly, very fittingly, since that's what we talked about a lot
Yeah,
too.
it was pretty much the entire show, almost. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I don't really need to name the cast since you already named it off.
Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx.
Sally Field, Paul Giamatti, Dennis Leary, Dane DeHaan, Martin Sheen.
Yep.
Didn't Dennis Leary die?
Well, yeah, they both died, but I'm sure they're slated in the thing, so obviously we're going to see flashbacks.
It'll be
or
like a
something.
flashback, yeah. So
I didn't want to spoil it, so that's why I said it the way I did. Didn't he die?
I'm sure they still caught that, like,
Yeah.
oh, you punk.
If you haven't seen that movie by now, it's pretty sad.
Yes, well, obviously,
Pretty good.
the plot of the movie is Peter Parker runs the gauntlet as the mysterious company Oscorp sends up a slew of supervillains against him, impacting on his life.
Yep.
there are a ton of 3 that we know of for right now. There's still
Yeah.
some more rumored, so we don't even know how
I don't know.
many is actually-
I loved the trailer because not only did it see that, but like when you saw like the scenes of Oscorp with like
Yeah.
all the things, like you saw like
You saw like Doc Ock.
yeah, you saw that. I caught that too, and
The
I was like,
wings.
oh,
The Wings is who I really want to see, because that belongs to Vulture, who's one of my favorite characters. He's kind of weird, but
After I saw The Place Beyond the Pines, I was really intrigued by Dane DeHaan. He's a pretty good actor. He's he's playing Harry Osborn, but in the original, Harry Osborn wasn't really like a villain, but he kind of looks that way.
yeah.
And he just looks like an evil rich kid.
Well, yeah, like in this trailer, like he's confronting an old man that's like sick in his bed.
Is that Chris Cooper?
I believe it is.
It looks like Chris Cooper.
I'm pretty sure it was Chris Cooper.
Yeah, it is. Norman Osborn.
Well, so yeah,
Okay.
like he kind of looks like he's straight up playing a villain
Mm-hmm.
in this. But I mean, who knows? I mean, the trailer looks amazing. If you've not seen it, you need to see it. And again, the movie does come out May 2nd, 2014.
just the beginning of the trailer too. He's free falling,
Yeah.
Spider-Man's free falling, and that just looked amazing to me.
Yeah, that was,
No pun intended, of course, but
it was a good way to open that trailer.
So who's Green Goblin?
that's the Osborns.
Yeah, but I mean,
For me, when I saw the trailer, it looked like Dane DeHaan.
to me it looked like Chris Cooper.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out.
Because they can go
Maybe
either.
both.
Because they can go either way with it, as long as he's not the Hobgoblin, which the Osborns never were. They made James Franco be the Hobgoblin in the third one, but we don't even talk about third one no more. But this one,
it's done. It's dead.
but this series is looking like it's sticking more to like the actual like comic books.
Yeah.
So as long as they do that, I think they'll be quite all right.
It's a lot better when they're a lot faithful to the comic books. Yeah.
You see little glimpses of Rhino, who's all a mech basically. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he looks like, and then Electro and the Green Goblin. So
Jamie Foxx didn't even sound like himself,
I know.
which I was like, whoa, it's gonna be an awesome
they would
movie.
know a world without power and Spider-Man. I don't know why he doesn't even sound like that, but
I just can't wait. This is obviously one of the things I'm gonna look forward to in the summer. Is the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
because Spider-Man 2, the one with Tobey Maguire, that was one of my favorite comic book movies at the time, pretty much of all time. Not necessarily like my most favorite one, but it was up there. And it's looking like this one might be up there too. What is it with Spider-Man 2s?
Yeah.
They just finally realized what they're doing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to get it right this time. But yeah, that is trailer of the week. And now it's time for the new releases. 2 movies to talk about this week. Obviously, one doesn't need any introduction. Obviously, it's a Peter Jackson film. The other one is a Tyler Perry film, A Medea Christmas. It seems like he has one every year for Christmas.
Yeah. He's crazy.
But yeah, it's Medea Christmas. It's Medea dispenses her unique form of holiday spirit on a rural town when she coaxed into helping a friend pay her daughter a surprise visit in the country for Christmas. And it stars Tyler Perry, obviously,
All-star cast right here.
and Chad Michael Murray.
And Larry the Cable Guy.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh my god.
Playing Larry the Cable Guy, basically. So
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this.
Yeah, I don't either.
I've never actually watched any of Tyler Perry's movies except for, one that actually...
Alex Cross
Yeah, that's the only film I've seen him in, actually. And that one wasn't bad.
with Matthew Fox.
Yeah.
I can't stand Matthew Fox.
But yeah, Tyler Perry's A Medea Christmas coming out this Friday. And last but not least, we have The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
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 Smog.
Smeag.
Which stars
Smeag.
Martin Freeman and Ian McKellen.
Yep.
And
Orlando
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And Orlando Bloom.
The chick from Lost.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her name.
The White Orc, of course, he's making his comeback.
Yeah.
The dwarfs, along with Bilbo Baggins and Gandalf the Grey, continue their quest to reclaim Erebor, their homeland from Smaug.
Smaug.
Bilbo Baggins is in possession of the mysterious and magical ring that leads us to Lord of the Rings. Yes, those are the two films we have for this week that come out on Friday.
It's getting great, like amazing reviews, like movie of the year, like best, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit movie. So it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I have faith in Peter Jackson.
All right, Brian. Well, you got it right. So do you want to go first? You want to
I don't
choose? Usually go first when you lose.
Yeah, so I don't feel like I should go, or should I? Since
It's up to you. You won.
I think I'll just go first.
Oh, setting the bar here.
I am setting the bar here. Yes. Well, obviously, I think The Hobbit is going to be at number 1, followed by A Medea Christmas at number 2, followed by Frozen at number 3, and at 4, The Hunger Games.
What you got, Vic?
I have The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug.
At number 1, of course. Frozen at number 2, Catching Fire at 3, and Medea's Christmas movie with Larry the Cable Guy at 4.
All right. I'm gonna go The Hobbit number 1.
Yeah, Smaug.
I'm gonna go. Man, oh man. I'm gonna go Medea. Number 2. Frozen 3. Hunger Games 4.
Oh, you're going with me, huh?
Yeah. Because, I'm looking right now at the box office mojo from what Medea's made in the past. So maybe this might change your mind, Vic. The last Medea movie that came out was in 2012, made 25.3. And before that, 2011 made 25.0. Before
So it's
that,
averaging like 25 mil.
yeah.
It's always been popular when it comes out.
2009, 41 mil.
What?
Yeah, it's done pretty well.
Who goes to see these movies? Actually?
Family Reunion, 2006, 30
I
mil.
honestly don't know.
It's done very well.
Who's
Like,
supporting
honestly-
this? Like who's supporting this?
I have
Like,
no idea.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry always does pretty good in the box office.
He's been very successful. Like, most of his movies is, I think, Medea, except for one, I think, was
The
Temptation. I can't remember the name of it. But I think
Temptation was this, or yeah, it was earlier this year, made 21.6, and then he had Peoples, which did.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which made 4.6, not very good.
Yeah, but when he does Medea, that's always been a big money draw.
Yeah, Medea's been the big one, so yeah.
But that's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm going with
So
it.
me and Brett are the same.
I'm always the outcast, so
Usually I'm the outcast.
Yeah, usually he is.
I just meant for today. So
Yeah. But we will see. Can Brian hold on to his title of 1 week?
are you just kind of like riding the coattails? Is this what he said?
Yeah.
Like he he won last week, so I'm just gonna go with what he says this week. So
Box office. You look at Box Office Mojo, and then you look
I
at.
do.
All right, you guys want to throw out some Hobbit numbers?
Oh my god.
$200 million.
All right.
200 opening weekend?
How much did Catching Fire make? Like 140.
Well, I want to know how much the
120.
first Hobbit made.
The first Hobbit on opening weekend made 84.6.
Okay, I will predict it will make like around 90.
I'm gonna say. Ooh. I'm gonna say like $95. $95. I'm gonna say like 95 mil.
What did Catching Fire make? You said 140, 120.
Catching Fire made like 100 and.
I want to put it up there with that. Like
The Hunger Games Catching Fire made 158.
opening weekend.
That's what it says. I don't remember that. I thought it was like 120 something, but it says opening weekend we made 158.
I don't know if it'll beat.
yeah.
I don't know if it'll beat that.
I'm sticking with 90.
I'll go
It'll
with
be somewhere
one.
in the 90s.
But when the Hunger Games came out, the first one it made 152.5, and then the sequel made 158. The first Hobbit movie made 84.6, so I'm thinking it's gonna be somewhere around there.
Let's go with like 110.
110.
I'm going with roughly around 90
That's
million.
what I'm going, like 90, 95, something like that. We'll find out.
Well, I'm going big because I think this.
Go
Yeah.
home or go.
The
I
third
mean, it
one,
deserves to be.
I think the third one's gonna make the most.
Oh, the Battle of the Five Armies. I can't wait for that. I read the book. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But that is our new releases. And it's time. You guys know what the movie is for Name That Plot?
We completely forgot to compare notes during the break.
Sorry, but I already know what it is.
I was gonna cheat.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
I'm gonna
give you the plot, and you guys can guess it. With their daughter away, her parents decide to skip Christmas altogether until she decides to come home, causing an uproar when they have to celebrate the holidays at the last minute. Vic?
Tim Allen in this movie.
Yes, he is.
That's all I remember from that movie.
Oh, you don't really? You don't
Jamie
remember the
Lee
name?
Curtis.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yes, Christmas.
Yes.
with the
Oh,
Cranks.
you got it
There we go.
right.
See, as soon as you gave me that second piece, I was like, my movie mind snapped into it, and I was like, I know what it is.
He got Tim Allen, so I didn't give it to him.
It don't matter. You guys, obviously, you already knew what it was. I knew you would. I was hoping you guys would have got this one.
Based off the book, Surviving Christmas. Or Skipping Christmas, not Surviving
Yeah.
Christmas. That was last week's.
But yes, that is the name. That's the movie for this week.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the end of our show, actually. So definitely check out The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug.
Tyler
Smoggy.
Perry's A Medea of
Sweet.
Christmas. Pick up the DVD releases, Fast and Furious 6, Despicable Me 2.
Check out the trailer, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Check out Vic's
Vic's
Pick,
Pick.
Super Troopers.
Yes.
Follow us on Twitter, Movie Talk Brian, the Tour Vic 23,
23.
the Podcast King. Follow us on Twitter at Movie Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook, Movie Talk Radio. Follow us on Instagram, Movie Talk Radio. Follow us on YouTube, Movie Talk Radio. Follow us on Tumblr, Movie Talk Radio.
Man, you said
Is
a
that still
mouthful.
going on?
Wow.
Bravo.
Yeah.
And on that note, that is the end. So that is a wrap.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Stallion Radio